You're listening to Blue Radio, bringing the vibe.
Wow. What a joy to be here this afternoon. We are in the afternoon here, but I want to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you may be watching this from. My name is Pastor Pauline Jumbale, and it's always a joy to be just around the people. Last time I was here, about a week ago, I was here, and I was here with a pastor friend of mine, and we were talking about a concept which we have called the unmarrieds. And today I am here again. I told you I love being around cameras, but I just don't want to be around cameras for nothing. I want to bring content that will be a blessing to your heart and even to your family. Today I am here with yet another podcast. This is about what is happening in our homes, in our families, what is happening around us. And I remember sometimes last year, God impressed it so much in my spirit. Last year around April, God impressed it so much in my spirit, just to talk about the Gen Zs. And when that thought came into my head and into my spirit, I took it further. I started interrogating that thought, and I felt that God wanted me to share something about that, just to bring hope to parents and to the youth. And when that thought was so strong in my spirit, I decided to just to check around with my fellow pastors, to check around with my peers, just to find out what is it that we can do about the Gen Zs. Mine was just the Gen Zs. And God helped me. I was connected to a very dear friend of mine now who is here. He's going to introduce himself so that we can take this further. So I want to welcome my friend. Just introduce yourself, and then we pick this one from there. And I believe that God is going to help people through this concept. Karibu sana.
Asante. My name is Pastor Paul Buya. I serve with the AIC Church here in Mombasa. And I'm the lead pastor at AIC Mtopanga. We are also at the DCC level. That's the organ that employs pastors in our AIC setting. I'm also the youth pastor. I happen also to serve at a Bible school where I'm the chaplain and dean of students. And I thank God because my life throughout has been revolving around young people. There is so much that I have learned. There's so much that I have seen. There's so much I've known about young people. And I thank God because of Pastor Pauline for providing this platform through Blue Radio. I am happy, and I believe today's session will be a good one for us. So, welcome.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's gonna be good. In Blue Radio we bring the vibe. So unapo watch hii, ujue kwamba kabisa we will going to touch a place where this is it. So this is about what we have called the generational gap and how to bridge that generational gap. So this podcast basically is to show you how we are going to bridge the generational gap. Now, why the generational gap? It's because, for sure, we have seen, we have heard, we have watched things, very terrible things that are happening. And as Pastor Buya has said, he has always loved to work around the youth, and so am I. I love working around, the youth, and just to find out how they are doing, how they are doing their stuff and all that. And I have realized there's a big and there's a major disconnect between the youth of today, and their parents. As we are talking right now, and I believe you will agree with me, you who is listening to this podcast, I believe that you will agree with me that there's a big disconnect. The parents are crying, the children are crying. I remember one day, because this is not the first time we are having this, we have had it physical already with the youth, and we tukapata maneno mingi tu pale. Kijana anauliza, kwa nini mzazi hawezi kunisikiza mimi? Kwani mimi sina say kwa nyumba? Kwani si mimi? Kwani mtoto hawezi sikizwa? And you know, sometimes, as I said when I was launching the concept, you know, sometimes you hear these children talk and you laugh. You unaangalia nyuma hivi, unacheka kwanza, alafu kisha unageuka unamsaidia. It is very interesting. Yani wamejipata mahali pakuwa wako sawa, wako rika na wazazi. Yani wako rika. Unajua, siku moja nilipatana na mwenda wazimu mmoja na akasema, mimi na baba yangu amenishinda tu na miaka 5. Si huo ni mwenda wazimu huo? So watoto wamekuwa na hali za kuwa wanajiona hao ni wanarika na wazazi. Nao wazazi pasi na kuelewa, mchungaji, wanaona bado, kwa sababu you know times have changed. Sasa wanaona bado wanaweza kufukuzana kama vile wazazi wa zamani walivyokuwa wanaweza kufukuzana na wakashinda. And most times tunakuta kwamba watoto ama actually wazazi ndio wana lose katika haya mapambano. Hivyo basi tumekuja leo kuwaletea by the grace of God, okay? By the grace of God, tumejua na tumeona kwamba kuna shida, vijana wako na shida, watoto kule nyumbani wako na shida, na kwa sababu Mungu ametupatia hiyo nafasi, ametupatia ameweka kitu ndani yetu because of the youth. We don't want to leave it at that. We want to take it ahead. Mchungaji, hebu niambie, wewe una deal sana na hawa vijana, na hata wazazi, their parents who have reached out to you concerning their children. What is your take on this?
Well, swala la kudili na vijana ni swala gumu, kwa sababu kila mtu analichukulia kwa mtazamo tofauti. For example, I begin just with a small experience that I had in February, late February. I was on my leave. And during such times, I trained drama in the high schools. And then there is this team that I was given this year, and we began our training. But I am very curious to understand how they behave, because discipline is the backbone of success.
Yeah, sure.
And then I isolated around 2 young guys, and I had to inquire more about them from the staff, the teachers, that is. And then the teachers told me, with those 2 guys, kindly assign them responsibilities with a lot of care. Make sure you double cast them. And now I was like, why? I was told they are heavily indisciplined. And chances are, before the drama ends, or before you end this festival at the nationals, these 2 guys will be sent home. Then I was like, okay. So I embarked on a plan B. The other guy was a soloist, and the other guy was very active at making sure that the team is well catered for. It is a place that is very hot. So he made sure there was enough water for them to drink every time of the training. Sasa mimi nikaangalia, siku ya kwanza nikaitwa kwa staff room. Mchungaji, come. Have you heard about your young man? Who? The one that you have assigned the responsibility of being the male soloist for the dance. And I said no. They told me he has stolen food. And then from nowhere I got busy, and then I said, oh, so what's the repercussion? He's been sent home. Then he came back, he apologized, and then he was accepted. And because of the way he apologized and committed himself towards discipline, he was allowed to come back to the drama team again. So we accepted him, and I gave him back his roles, and he did so well. But I made sure I had sessions of special contact with him. He regrets. And then I came to discover a very hard truth, or a sad reality. He's a drug addict. He's addicted to drugs, especially bang, alcohol. And according to him, he just is in despair. He has struggled with stopping everything, but ameshindwa na ako pale, so ana experience bouts of anger ambazo zikikuja hawezi kujicontrol, anapigana na anashikwa na njaa ambayo ni ngumu kujicontrol nayo. So akaenda akanyemelea kwa staff, akachukua chakula ya mwalimu na akaenda akakula. Alafu alipouliza kwa mwalimu, sasa si ni food, si mtu akiwa na njaa akiona chakula anakula, unaona? Then the other young man yake ilikuwa mbaya zaidi. He fought a teacher and it was the deputy principal. So alipeana mikononi mwa serikali. Babake akaja akamchukua kwa polisi. What am I saying? I am saying the country or rather families are burning. The parent came because actually the young man that fought the deputy principal was a student who was on transfer. He was just received. In less than 2 weeks, a bigger scandal happened. So the father came and he was like pleading with the principal. Ukinituma na yeye nyumbani nitampeleka wapi?
Tamfanyia nini huko?
Mruhusu tu, nataka tu amalize. He's informed too. Mruhusu tu, nataka amalize. And the principal declined. I think there are issues that needs to be tackled, but the approach is the one that is lacking. Okay. Approach ndio ina lack kwa sababu sisi tulilelewa malezi ya kupigwa. Mimi nakumbuka mamangu alikuwa anaweza kukupiga hata kwa kucheka. Anaweza kukupiga hata bila makosa yoyote. Anaweza kukupiga wageni wakija, ukikaa tu mwenyewe unasikiza stories za wageni, anaweza kukutandika kwa sababu ni kama unaotea chakula ya wageni, ni kama and I miss her right away. I miss her a lot kwa sababu malezi nayo wapa wanangu kidogo ni tofauti na yale niliyopata. Because I came to realize nilipoanza kulea watoto wangu wa kwanza, wale wawili wa kwanza, nilikuwa mkali nao sana. Lakini yule kijana nikamuaffect totally. So akawa mwoga, hawezi kujiexpress kwa sababu kitu kidogo mimi nilikuwa natandika hivi.
Unataka kumlea kama vile ulivyolelewa.
Kama vile nililelewa. Na nikawa nimemharibu. Kijana akawa ako hyper.
And I want this point, I want this point wazazi waipate vizuri. Okay? Sio kulea mtoto wako vile wewe ulilelewa. You know, the way apart. Yes, because we are generations apart, and here today we are saying we want to bridge that gap. Okay, because there exists a generational gap which ikiwa tutakuwa tunatembea ati sasa unajua mimi nililelewa hivi kwa hivyo wewe lazima ufanye hivyo, mtoto ataingiwa na wazimu. So mzazi hapo ulipo, tafadhali just take this point home, that the way you were brought up is not the way you are going to bring up your child, but there's a way you can bring up your child in this generation pia awe wa faida.
Very true. So that is the challenge. We want to instill discipline to our children the way it was done to us. And these are two generations apart. Because sisi hatukuzaliwa wakati wa computer. Wao wako na access ya computer. Unaweza kumtandika hapa na akachukua simu akaenda TikTok, ama akafanya bidii akachukua video kimtandika na ikakuwa mbaya sana kwao. Sasa hivi kuna sheria ambazo zinawatetea na zimeweka mahali pa juu zaidi. One question is, at my age right away, niko na watoto 4. Sasa swali la kujiuliza ambalo sasa hivi nimekuwa nikijiuliza ni kwamba je, nikizaa mtoto mwingine sahi wa 5, nitaweza kumlea sawa sawa na wale wengine? The answer is a big no. Why? Because season yake aliyozaliwa nayo ni tofauti na ile wale wengine waliozaliwa na. So the approach katika kuwatafuta watoto ndio ambayo inalaka. Na inalaka kwa nini? Kwa sababu the damage has been done already. These children, these young people ambao sasa hivi ndio wazazi wa kesho, wamekuwa na kufikia kiwango cha kusema wazazi wetu hawatuelewi. The young man I'm talking about ambaye alipigana na mwalimu, nilipomuita kumuuliza, aliniambia kitu kimoja tu: hii shule they fail to understand us. They don't understand us. They have what is it called? Walitutag kwamba sisi ni wabaya. Kwa hivyo hata kitu kikifanyika ambacho si mimi nimefanya, naambiwa tu ni mimi. And the issue was very open. Alishikwa na vitu vya wizi pia. Alishikwa na mihadarati kwa sanduku lake. Unaona? Lakini ile tag aliyo nayo ni kwamba watu hawamuelewi. Now, the question is, as a parent, hawamuelewi kivipi? Does it mean that nowadays these young people think that taking bang is something that should be the order of the day? Because almost all of them are into drugs. Does it mean that they want us to understand them? Where I am working, there are young people that join the college as first years, and they struggle a lot with submitting assignments. And each instructor forwards the case to me. Where they feel this is too much, they forward the case to my office. And these young people think the school needs to understand that they are struggling and there is nothing they can do. So the school needs to tone down its policies so that they may be accommodated. Now, the question is, what approach should we employ in making sure that these young people and the older generation are working in the same world? Because right away we are working in two worlds apart.
Yeah.
They're in a world where they feel there's some element of entitlement as a young people that they need to be understood. The older generation needs to to fit into their shoes and see the world that they're living in and so forth. That is the challenge. And I think the best approach is for the parent to step down from parenthood and become one young man so that they understand their young people better.
Just coming down to their level.
Kabisa.
That is also another point that the parent should take home. Because if you go at par with the child, you will miss it somewhere. Somewhere things will not go right. So the parent need to come down to the level of the child so that they can begin it from there.
And that one carries a lot of weight because when I want my son to do things the way I feel he should, and when he thinks that I am dictating him, that is the beginning of me failing as a parent, and that is the beginning of me losing him as a son. And now you can imagine if that begins when he has just reached puberty, because that is where there is a lot of confusion. Na akishindwa kukuelewa hapo, ni ngumu kukuelewa katika maisha yake yote. Nimekutana na vijana ambao wanasema hii story staki dadi hapa karibu na mimi. Manake alinineglect. Dadi alikataa kunisikiza, dadi alikataa kunielewa. Kwa hivyo staki story zake. Why? Because the father thinks that the child needs to bow. And the child thinks the father is not doing me justice. So, and I end up to create other safety zones, and I end up to create urafiki na watu wengine, ambao huenda wakampatia ushauri ambao it's not the best. So I think the best thing for us as parents of our generation is to step down, to tone down, to climb the ladder several steps downwards, and come and meet our young people where they are, because they are somewhere lower than us, and they think they are somewhere higher than us. We need to climb the ladder down and sit down and understand them before we engage them in any dialogue. Let us step into their shoes and understand them first.
And you know, Mchungaji, most parents have lost hope completely. Most parents have lost hope. I remember I said this when we were in the Sunday Express, and I also want to say it here, that there are most parents who have lost hope, you know, because the children are so complicated. So there was this one time where parents were called in their school, you know, just to talk about their children, you know, their behavior in school and what was happening. And there was a lot of homosexuality in that school, okay? And then one parent stood up and said, these children, sisi wametushinda kule nyumbani. Tumeongea kuhusu hizi tabia mpaka wametushinda. Sasa situache waendelee. Bora wamalize shule, alafu waendelee na maisha yao. So that is what we are talking about when we say that parents have lost hope. We have come here so that we can let you know that there is hope. You don't have to lose hope as a parent. God gave you that child to be a caretaker. Remember, one day, the Bible says one day you will give an account, you know. So God has given you that child, you are the caretaker, and therefore you must be able to take care of that child. We are here to provide that help. We are here so that we can stand in to bridge this gap. And you know, in the generational gap, where we bridge the gap, there's a lot that we are going to do, and we are going to bring the youth, we are going to bring the parents, we are going to bring all generations so that we can be able to break the ice. We can be able even to start, you know, learning from each other. You know, we can have reverse mentorship, because right now you can see that technology is the center stage. Mchungaji, pale ambapo mimi na wewe tunajua wale jamaa wako I don't know how many steps ahead, you know. So if we can, you know, things like reverse mentorship can really help. We bring these two generations together. We get to learn. Sisi tunataka to learn more about technology. Let them also learn, you know, what happened, you know, long time ago, you know, so that we can be able to live in cohesion. Now, we are almost bringing this to a close, and we are ministers, we are pastors, and God has placed us here strategically so that we can bring hope. We are saying there is hope for the parent, there is hope for the youth, there is hope for the homes. Probably you've been struggling there, you know, with your child, struggling there with your parents. We want to tell you that this is a space whereby you can be able to, you know, to get help and to get hope, because life must be lived. There's a scripture in the Bible which I love, in the book of Hebrews, which says, pursue peace at all costs. And I like breaking it, you know, breaking every word. You know, to pursue is to push. To pursue is to, you know, to make sure that you get that one thing. But at all costs, you pursue peace. Peace cannot just come, okay? Peace, for peace to be attained, there's a cost to be paid. And I like the way you said that the parent now has to climb the ladder down. You know, you come down and meet your child where he is or where she is, so that you can help. You can help. So we want to bring this to a close, and we want to assure you that bridging the gap is the space to be, because the youth are going to have vibrant conversations with the older people. We are going to have so many things that we are going to do together so that we can have healthy homes. You know, we can have healthy homes, because right now, if this is the scenario, you know, watoto hata ukiona mtoto anapigana shule, huyo kule nyumbani ujue hashikiki, huyo huwa hashikiki huko. Kwa hivyo tunataka kwa rehema za Mungu, kama jinsi vile Mungu atatusaidia, kwamba tutaleta tumaini. Kwa hivyo, as you watch this, as you listen to this, want you to tag a friend na waambie kwamba bridging the gap, the generational gap is a space where we are going to bridge the gap so that we can have peace in our homes. You know, we can live lives that are fulfilling. We can bring glory to God in our lives so that we can live healthy lives. You know, we can live life, because life is for the living. Mchungaji, as we bring this to a close, I want you to give a parting shot to that youth and to that parent who is there right now and he has lost hope completely. Yeye anasema sasa ni sawa nilizaa, lakini wengine wanasema sina mtoto mimi. Ushasikia? Pale sina mtoto mimi. Na yule mtoto yule ni wake. Juzi, by the way, now this reminds me, I was watching something. Nilikuwa naita sinema ya bure in Karen. It's on air. I mean, it's gone viral. Mama na msichana wake wanateta kwa sababu mama amepokonya msichana wake bwana. Unasikia? So the girl anaambia mama, mimi si mtoto wako na sitaweza kukuheshimu. Unawezaje wewe kulala na yule mtu ambaye ameniingia mimi? On air. It was, you know, yani unaangalia hivi. Unajua haya ni mambo ambayo Mchungaji.
Hapo ndio tuko. I think just before I give a parting shot, to elaborate something a bit deep about this coming down the ladder. You see, feed a dog and it will never bark at you.
Feed a dog and it will never bark at you.
Kabisa. Jibwa yoyote hawezi kubwekea yule anampa chakula. Anamjua. Shida ni parents tumeshikwa zaidi na shughuli na tukija nyumbani tumeshikwa na hizi vitu. Kiasi cha kwamba hatuna wakati wa kuweza hata kumpatia huyu jibwa wetu chakula.
Okay.
Mungu atusaidie hapo. Tuanze kushuka chini kwa hapo kwanza. Naposema kumpa jibwa chakula, it is about showing concern to your child than the way the house help shows concern to the child. Wazazi wengine wakienda kwa nyumba hata watoto wanawakataa. Wamejua auntie. Jambo la pili, kama mzazi I think it's better utafute kwanza kujua huyu mtoto wako ni sehemu gani ambazo anapitia changamoto. Some of us don't know what our sons and daughters are struggling with. But the moment we begin from there, that is the moment hope begins becoming real. Otherwise, hope will remain just a word. Just a word. That we know there is hope, but actualizing it needs us to take that extra effort. Winning is not something that is very simple. Winning is not for the faint-hearted. It is for those who have dedicated themselves with a struggle so that they may win over what is lost from them. So my comment to us parents is, let us come down the ladder. Let us enter into the shoes and the world of these young people. Let us feed this dog, dog in quotes. Let us feed this dog so that it will not have the guts to bark at us. Sasa mimi nikae mahali nateta na kijana wangu juu tumepokonyana mrembo. Ni wapi na wapi? Kuna dunia ambayo mimi nitakuwa nataka kuishi ambayo nimeipitia miaka mingi iliyopita, kiasi cha kwamba hata naweza kutembea na mtu ambaye akorika na mwanangu. Hapo ndio kuna changamoto. La mwisho ni hakuna kitu ambacho hakiwezi kurekebika as long as kinaishi. Mwanadamu yoyote akiwa na uhai bado akona chance ya kuwa bora.
There is still hope.
Ni opportunity hajapata.
Ni opportunity
yule mtu
hajapata.
wa kumuonyesha barabara hajatokelezea. As a parent, be that person. Na kuna saa zingine I know there are challenges za mzazi kuweza kuwa na mbinu ya kutafuta kuongelesha mwanawe vitu deep. Seek for outside help and take care of who you are touching your son or daughter with. Use the pastors. I remember our last schedule that we had at the church there. Vijana wanasema, it is you pastors to hold our hands and bring us back to our parents, because that gap is real. So let us bridge this gap together. Let us make use of the church. Let us bring the pastor back into the homes. Kuliko kukaa tukidiscuss wachungaji. Zile scandals zote zinatokea ziko, and in my own view, and these are purely my own views, kwamba zitatokea. Hizo zilitokea, ziliisha, sio za mwanzo. Nyingine zitakuja. Tulianza na mambo ya watu kuuza watoto, wakisema ni miracle babies. Tukaenda mambo ya kupanda mbegu, tukakuja mambo ya shakahola. Kutazuka nyingine hivi karibuni.
Kabisa.
Lakini haimaanishi kwamba shamba lote limeoza. Papai moja ikioza, si matunda yote ya papai ni mabaya. Let us seek these men of God. Especially, I advocate for these churches that they preach the word, they do the word, and they live the word. Let us embrace them. Let us bring them into our homes. Ukikaa unapoongea mwanao kuhusu scandals za makanisani zinazofanyika, and this is very technical, because utaona kwa news mtaidiscuss, utaichambua, uambie mimi hata hiyo wachungaji sina hope nao. Lakini mtoto wako kuna mahali ambapo yeye anaenda na wewe huwezi mfikia. Yule mchungaji amesoma, amepitia mahali, anaweza kumsaidia yule mtoto. Ukicreate that negative picture ya yule mchungaji kwa yule mtoto, kesho na kesho kutwa mtoto wako atakushinda na atabaki akiwa amekushinda hivi. Shuleni kuna vitu atafundishwa. Lakini huku nje, nyumbani, kanisani, kila mahali kuna role yake inacheza katika kushape huyu mtoto. So mimi kuambia tu ni kwamba kutushauri sisi wazazi wa sasa hivi ni kwamba tusichoke. Muombe mwanao, kaa karibu na mwanao, ingia katika ulimwengu wake, vaa viatu vyake, na ikiwezekana ukae katika hali ambayo anaweza kukuelewa. And the world will become a better place. Hata yeye akija akizaa, atafanya kama vile ambavyo wewe ulifanya.
Good.
I think that's all for now.
And there's something I have really loved, that usisumbuke pale nyumbani na mtoto wako peke yako, ujue kwamba there is help. Kuna watu ambao unaweza kuenda kwao na wakakusaidia na mtoto wako.
Na si machifu na si polisi.
Na si machifu wala sio polisi, hapana. Hapana.
Kunakaa kwa hukumu zaidi.
Kabisa, because kwa introduction yake mchungaji Buya amesema kwamba yeye ana deal na watoto. He's a counselor. You know, he works closely with the youth, you know, and he's also a pastor. Kwa hivyo musikae kule nyumbani na you know, you write off wachungaji kusema kwamba sasa hawa wachungaji ndio wale tunawaona kwa TV. Wale umewaona kwa TV sio Pastor Buya wala sio Pastor Pauline, tafadhali. Okay? Wale ni wengine. Mungu huwa siku zote ako na njia za kusaidia mtu. So wazazi na watoto mlio hapo, this is your channel. I want you to keep it right here. Start sharing. Please share with your peers and encourage them to keep it right here. Give us a comment, give us a like, give us those 2 emojis. We really love them. And I can assure you, as we push this agenda forward, God is going to help us and we are going to have healthy homes. Thank you so much for listening to us. This is your pastor and friend, Pastor Pauline Jumbale. Until next time, may the Lord truly, truly bless you.
You're listening to Blue Radio, bringing the vibe.